Tiling walls and floors looks a daunting task, but this couldn't be further from the truth. Developments in technology have provided a range of easy-to-use adhesives and grouts, along with a comprehensive range of easy-to-use affordable tools, enabling most of us to successfully complete tiling projects around the home. This DVD will give you an insight into successful tiling and provide you with the skills and knowledge to use the wide variety of tile designs available. The first task after selecting the tile design and colour is to calculate the number of tiles you will require. This is done by measuring the height and widths for walls, width and length for floors of the area you are intending to tile. Multiply the two figures together, and this will tell you how many square metres of tiles you require. Allow 10% extra for cutting tiles and breakages. Tiles are sold in boxes, which all show the coverage per pack. You will also need a small number of tools to help, plus the appropriate adhesive and grout for the tiles and surface you are tiling. In addition, some straight pieces of planed wood, around 50 by 25 mm by 2 meters, to use as battens and for marking out. We will start with wall tiling. First, check that the wall has no loose or blown plaster. This is where the plaster has come loose, and any such areas will need replastering before tiling. Don't worry about any small holes or cracks, as the adhesive, when applied, will fill these in. Newly plastered walls or flaky surfaces should be treated with Unibond PVA, 5 parts water to 1 part PVA, before tiling. If you're tiling a new bathroom or toilet, it is better to fit the pan, cistern, basin and shower screen after you have tiled. This will provide a watertight surface, preventing the need to cut tiles around the basin and cistern. If you're tiling an existing bathroom or toilet, then you'll have to decide whether you want to disconnect the fittings and adjust the pipework as necessary after tiling. Once the area is clean, you're ready to start marking out. Time spent planning will make your tiling look aesthetically better, reduce the amount of cutting, and make sure your tiles are square on the wall. First, you will need to make what is called a gauge rod. Place your piece of wood on a flat surface and then lay out your tiles, starting with the first flush with the end of the wood. Use your selected spaces between the tiles. Continue until you reach the end of the wood. Various spaces are available for wall and floor tiles to help provide different grout widths. Mark the position of each tile edge in pencil on the wood. This will give you a guide to mark on the wall to see where the tiles will fall. Start marking out on the wall by finding the centre of the wall using a tape measure, and then draw a vertical line using one of your pieces of wood and spirit level. You can, of course, use a plumb line for this process. If the wall you are tiling has a window in it, then it is best to use the centre point of the window rather than the centre of the wall, as when it has been tiled, it will look much better. Take your gauge rod and work out from the centre horizontal line where your tiles will fall on the wall. When you get to the end, you will then be able to see what cutting will be required. If you find that you end up with just a small amount of tile, it will be best to move your centre line across half a tile. Repeat the process along the vertical centre line to see how the tiles will fit this way as well. To finish your preparation, you may need to fix a batten of straight wood horizontally to the wall, with its top edge positioned one row of tiles from the bottom. This gives you a horizontal line from which to start tiling. If you're using a non-slip adhesive, there will be no need for a batten. Before you start tiling, open several boxes of tiles and mix the tiles, as the colour can vary slightly from box to box. Now you're ready to tile. The first step is applying the adhesive. There are many different adhesives, each designed for a particular type of tile and surface. Ready-mixed adhesives offer convenience, easy application and flexible properties, which make them particularly suitable for wall tiling. Ready-mixed Unibond Tile on Walls Advanced All-Purpose Adhesive. Ideal for all ceramics and for tiling over existing tiles. Ideal for kitchens, bathrooms and showers. 3-star waterproofing. Extra strong instant grip. Mold resistant. Ready-mixed Unibond Tile on Walls Advanced All-Purpose Adhesive and Grout. Ideal for ceramics and for tiling over existing tiles in kitchens, bathrooms and showers. 3-star waterproofing. Extra strong non-slip grip. Mold resistant. Ready-mixed Unibond Tile on Walls Anti-Mold Shower and Bathroom Adhesive and Grout. 5-star waterproofing. Actively repels water. Extra strong non-slip grip. Mold resistant. Dries ice white. Start spreading the adhesive from the batten at the bottom of the area you're tiling, using a notched adhesive spreader. Apply firmly and run your spreader across it when finished to give an even surface on which to tile. It is best only to spread adhesive onto a small area at a time. Do not tile if the adhesive has skinned over. Remove it and reapply. Now start putting the tiles onto the wall, adding tile spaces as you go. Work along the bottom row first until you come to the end, where you will need to cut the end pieces. Remove any adhesive from the tiles, your hands and tools with water. It's a good idea to have a bucket and sponge close at hand to clean up as you go along. Tile cutting is covered later in the DVD. Continue tiling up the wall, half a square metre at a time, until you have completed your first section. Move on a section at a time until you have completed a whole wall, and then move on to the next wall. Again, start at the bottom once you have positioned a horizontal batten. Continue tiling until all surfaces have been completed. If you have any external corners, such as around window recesses, then you will need to consider one of two options for the best visual effect. The simplest is to use a tile trim. This is a plastic strip that comes in around 2 metre lengths, a variety of colours and profiles, and is cut with a hacksaw to the length you require. Tile trim is simply pushed into the bed of adhesive at the edge before you tile the surface, and creates a nice, neat edge. They can also be used to finish around tiles if you are only part tiling a wall. The other method is to make mitre cuts to the edge tiles. This requires the use of an electrical diamond-wheeled tile cutter. When tiling the areas around the window, leave cutting the edge tiles until last. Once the tiling on the adjacent areas has been completed, you can start to mark and cut the tiles to fit on the outside of the window recess first. If you have opted to use tile trim, start by measuring the gap at points along the area. If your walls are not square, take the widest measurement and cut all the tiles to this size. This will square up the tiles around the window. If they are square, cut all the tiles to size. Once you have fitted all the tiles around the outside, you can move on to marking and cutting those on the inside of the recess. First, fit the tile trim into a bed of adhesive on the horizontal base of the windowsill. Cutting to size with a hacksaw, mitre the corners for the tidiest finish. Then measure, cut, and fit the tiles for this section. Move on to the top horizontal and cut and fit the tiles in the same way, making sure you have firmly pushed them into the adhesive. Then move to the two vertical sides. Cut and fit the tile trim first. Then measure and cut just one tile to see if the tiles required are all the same size. Check by running the first cut tile up and down to see if it fits. If not, you will have to measure and cut each individually. If you need to pad out the tiles due to the wall not being square, Add some additional adhesive to the back of the tile after first applying an even layer to the wall. If you are intending to mitre, measure and cut a square edge first. After checking it fits, adjust the diamond cutter tabletop to 45 degrees for the mitre and run the tile through. This will give you a snug and perfect finish. Should an L-shaped cut be required when you are mitering, use the diamond cutter to make the straight cuts and then file away the tile edge to create the mitre with a tile file. Make sure you leave a small gap around the window frame for grouting. Once you have finished all the tiling, leave it for 24 hours before grouting. Ready-mixed grouts offer convenience, easy application and flexible properties, which make them particularly suitable for wall tiling. Powdered grouts offer higher performance that make them suitable for more demanding situations, such as showers and wet rooms. Ready-mixed Unibond tile-on-walls waterproof grout for showers, bathrooms and kitchens. Ideal for all ceramic and mosaic wall tiles. Interior use. Dries white. Ready-mixed Unibond tile-on-walls anti-mold shower and bathroom waterproof grout. Ideal for all ceramic and mosaic wall tiles. For showers, bathrooms and kitchens. 5-star waterproofing. Actively repels water. Extra strong and flexible. Superior mold resistance. Dries ice white. Powder Unibond tile-on-walls anti-mold shower and bathroom waterproof grout. For showers, including power showers, bathrooms and kitchens. Ideal for all ceramic and mosaic wall tiles. Interior and exterior use. Superior mold resisting. Sets in 3 hours. Available in brilliant white or cream. Grout provides a decorative and waterproof finish between tiles. Apply using a grout float, moving across all the joints at 45 degrees to ensure grout is pushed between the tiles. Go over each joint 2 or 3 times to make sure the grout fills the gap. Do not use grout in joints where the tiles meet with another type of surface, like wood or acrylic baths. Once the grout has been applied to a complete wall, run a grout pen along the joints to create a smooth and concave finish. Use a wet sponge to remove any grout from the tile surfaces before moving on to the next area. Leave grout to dry for 24 hours and then polish off any grout dust using a dry cloth for a perfect finish. It's recommended that you wear a face mask whilst undertaking this process. Now the finishing touches. Apply sealant to any joints between the tiles and worktops, baths, chinaware, etc., using an anti-mold silicone for the best results. Silicone sealant comes in a range of colours to match or coordinate with your selected colour scheme. Apply the silicone sealant with an even pressure. Use a wet and round-ended spatula or similar tool to remove excess and smooth over the joint. For larger gaps, it helps to use masking tape each side of the joint and then follow the same procedure. Good cutting will give your tiling that professional look. It's not difficult. First select a cutter to meet your needs. Most tiling tasks will only need a manual cutter. It is best to buy one that has a cutting surface built into it, as it will make cutting your tiles easier. Although a tile scribe or wheeled type of cutter can produce excellent results, but does need slightly more care. If you only have straight cuts to make, then a manual tile cutter will be more than adequate. Mark the tile where it needs cutting, not forgetting to make allowances for spacers. Score the tile with the cutting wheel by pushing down gently and away from you. Then break the tile using the tile cutter. If you're going to have to make L-shaped cuts, an electric diamond wheel cutter is best suited. Some local hire shops stock them, or you can of course buy one from your local store. Firstly, mark the element that requires removing, remembering to allow for the tile spacer. Then make the first cut in the tile with your diamond wheeled cutter, not forgetting to put your safety glasses on first. Turn the tile around for the second cut, and within seconds you will have a perfectly cut L-shaped tile. You could use a tile saw or a pair of tile nippers after scoring the surface with your cutter to make the L-shaped cut, although this can be time-consuming. If you have a pipe to cut around, or an electrical socket that requires cutting around, first mark the tile to show the area requiring removal. If the area to be removed is in the centre of the tile, drill pilot holes with a masonry drill bit all around the area to be removed. Once complete, the centre should fall out. Remove the small bits left with a tile nipper for smooth, clean edges. A tile saw can also be used to good effect for cutting out shapes in tiles. Nippers can also be used to cut out shapes from the edge of tiles. Wall tiles require little or no maintenance. It is advisable in areas such as showers, where limescale builds up, to use a limescale remover, just as you would do on your bath. Grout may need replacing after a number of years, and in the unlikely event of this happening, use a grout remover or rake to take out as much of the old grout as possible, then replace with new grout using a grout float, as shown earlier in the video. If for any reason you have to remove a tile because it's damaged, drill a series of holes in the centre of the tile and then strike it with a hammer and bolster. Once the surface has cracked, remove the broken tile using a bolster and a hammer to lever the tile away from the wall, working from the centre of the tile outwards. Once all the tile is removed, use a trimming knife to remove any dried adhesive from the edges, and then replace the tiles, spreading the adhesive on the reverse with a notched spreader and pushing it firmly into place. The principles of floor tiling are exactly the same, albeit that there are a greater number of materials used to create the extensive range of colours and textures. Preparation is key. Make sure the surface you're going to tile is clean and level. On wooden floors, EvoStick Tile-A-Floor Flexible Adhesive and Grout for wooden floors can be applied directly onto the surface as long as it is screwed down every time it passes a floor joist. If you're using any adhesive other than EvoStick Tile-A-Floor Flexible Adhesive and Grout for wooden floors, then the floor will need to be boarded out with plywood, screwed down at regular intervals. You should ensure any other adhesive has sufficient flexibility, such as EvoStick Tile-A-Floor adhesive for stone and porcelain tiles. If you're planning to lay the new floor over an uneven concrete floor, you should use EvoStick Floor Leveling Compound or EvoStick Smooth Floor to create a sound base prior to starting the tiling process. Floor leveling compound can be laid up to a thickness of 8 mm. Once you have prepared your floor, the first thing to do is mark the centre of the area. Measure the centre of the width and length of the area and mark these in several places along each side. This will then enable you to take one of your straight lengths of timber and mark a centre point and divide the room into quarters. As with wall tiling, prepare a gauge rod by taking a piece of the plain timber and placing it on a flat surface, and then lay out your tiles starting with the first flush with the end of the wood. Use your selected spacers between the tiles and continue until you reach the end of the wood. Mark the position of each tile edge in pencil on the wood. This will give you a guide to see where the tiles will lay on the floor. Place your gauge rod along the line through the centre of the width, and you will be able to see where the tiles will fall. At the end, you will be able to determine what cutting will be required. Avoid any small cuts. Move the gauge rod half a tile if you have a small cut at the end. This will still leave your tiles centred in the room. Repeat the marking out process along the length centre line to see how the tiles will fit this way as well. Whilst doing so, take into account any other tiles that will require cutting, around the bath or pillars, for example, trying to avoid having to make any small cuts. If you're having the same size tiles on the wall, you should make sure that the tiles match in terms of joints, so it looks symmetrically even. Before you start tiling, open several boxes and mix the tiles, as colouring can vary from box to box. Choosing the right adhesive for your floor tiles is very important. The EvoStick Tile-A-Floor range of adhesives offers products that have been developed to suit all of the different types of floor tiles on the market. As with wall tile adhesive, ready-mixed flooring adhesives and grout offer convenience, easy application, and flexible properties, which make them particularly suitable for use on wooden floors. Powdered adhesive offers higher performance, faster setting times, and is ideally suited for the more demanding rooms and specific tile types, such as shower areas and wet room floors, and porcelain and natural stone tiles. EvoStick Tile-A-Floor Fast Setting Adhesive is suitable for ceramic tiles on concrete floors. It's ideal for areas where quick setting is essential. It sets in 3 hours. Suitable for use in showers or wet rooms, it is waterproof and suitable for interior or exterior use. EvoStick Tile-A-Floor adhesive for ceramic tiles sets in 24 hours, allowing extra application time. It's suitable for use on concrete floors and is waterproof for interior or exterior use. EvoStick Tile-A-Floor adhesive and grout for ceramic tiles is a fast-setting adhesive and is ready to grout in 4 hours. Available in grey or sandstone finish, grout joints can be up to 12 mm wide, allowing wider spacing of tiles. It's suitable for use on concrete floors and is waterproof for interior or exterior use. For specific types of tiles, EvoStick Tile-A-Floor range is available in adhesive for stone and porcelain tiles. This product sets in 3 hours, can be used with underfloor heating, and is waterproof for interior or exterior use. Start applying the adhesive in 1/4 of the room. Use a notched spreader, applying no more than a square metre at a time. Make sure you firmly run the spreader over the area before tiling to ensure a level bed of adhesive has been laid. If you are laying over underfloor heating, use EvoStick Tile-A-Floor adhesive for stone and porcelain tiles, which has been specifically formulated for this use. Look for the underfloor heating icon on the front of the bag. For this application, it is best to use a plastic spreader to avoid damage to the wiring. Start laying the tiles from the centre point, using the appropriate spacers, working out to the edge of the room. Push the tiles firmly into place with a slight twisting action. This will eliminate any voids beneath the tiles, otherwise the tiles may crack. As you are laying the tiles, check regularly that they are level and true, using a straight edge. Your spirit level will be ideal for this. If they are not, use a rubber mallet to level them. Once you get to the edges, it is likely that the tiles will need cutting. Measure the gap, not forgetting the spacer, and then mark this onto the face of the tile. Use a tabletop cutter for straight cuts, and for the best results, use a diamond-wheeled electric cutter for any L shapes. position in place using spacers. If you have any small cuts to make or shapes to be cut, mark the tile, score the lines with a tabletop cutter, and remove the unwanted part of the tile using tile nippers. Continue laying the tiles quarter by quarter until complete. Once you have finished tiling the complete area, leave it to dry as specified on your adhesive instructions. Before grouting, remove any adhesive that is sitting proud in the joints with a trimming knife. Selecting the right grout is again very important. That's of course if your adhesive is not a combined adhesive and grout. Select from EvoStick Tile-A-Floor Fast Set Grout for concrete and wooden floors, which is available in grey, charcoal and sandstone. It sets in 3 hours, is suitable for all tiles and grouts joints up to 12 mm wide. It can be used with underfloor heating and is waterproof. Alternatively, EvoStick Tile-A-Floor Grout for concrete floors is slower setting. Sets in 24 hours, allowing extra application time. It's available in grey, is suitable for all tiles, grouts joints up to 12 mm wide, and is waterproof. Use a grout float in the same way as with wall tiling, going over each joint several times to push the grout firmly into the joints. Remember to leave a gap between the tiles and the wall, as this should be filled with an anti-mold silicone sealant, available in a range of colours to match or complement your tiles and grout. Remove excess grout with a damp sponge, wiping diagonally several times over each joint until a smooth finish is achieved. Leave to dry before polishing with a cloth to give your new floor a perfect finish. Floor and wall tiles offer an excellent decorative finish that has the added benefit of being very durable, lasting for many, many years. With today's technology, we have been able to make tiling so much easier, and with a wide range of tiling tools, help make tiling projects so much quicker to complete. Ceramic, slate, porcelain, and marble tiles provide excellent protection for your walls and floors in areas of high moisture. They are extremely low maintenance, and just a simple wipe over with a damp cloth will make them look like new again. The extensive range of floor and wall tiles available offer a colour, texture and size to suit even the most discerning of tastes. They can bring warmth and colour, and with thoughtful design, provide stunning features in and around the home.